2,
Trekcast. Trekcast.
The galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast.
There you go.
Here we are.
What's up, everyone?
What are you, part of Lincoln Park all of a sudden?
No, it's just the sideways, whatever.
Yeah.
Lower decks, kind of
Rock out
it
with your
out.
Spock out.
Rock out with your Spock out. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have all the innuendos today as we talk about all kinds of things related to the Big D.
Yes.
Big D.
Some guys talking about the Big D on the internet.
Oh, my goodness.
I even made sure to send a couple of people DMs on Facebook, and all I said was Big D.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, you weren't here last week.
I wasn't here last week.
Yeah.
Great show, by the way. Good job, as always. Strongbeard was hilarious.
How was your week off, though?
It was good. We, it's funny. We were supposed to be at the zoo the week before, and I had a whole bunch of stuff rearranged on that Saturday to go to the zoo, and instead we went to a whole bunch of antique places, and so just looking for whatever. Hello.
Hey, Bronson.
And so, yeah, when we went to the zoo, it worked out perfect. The weather was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I wasn't hot. I wasn't cold. It was one of those perfect days where it just perfect. You couldn't even tell you're outside, right? Every now and then you get a breeze. Oh, yeah, I'm actually standing outside. It was just gorgeous. And the Kansas City Zoo, for those who haven't been, is a unique zoo. It's huge, first off. Like, you really have to have your walking shoes on because you're walking a lot to see what you see, specifically because what's my favorite animal at the zoo?
We'll see. Let's let people guess.
Yeah. So, morning, Scott. No.
Hey, it's Scott Bowders.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Funny thing. You were traipsing around the zoo, and the guy who filled in for you is our correspondent from Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo.
What are the odds?
That is a great little link right there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I
pretty
find
good.
links. I find links.
The great link, if you
The
will.
great link. That wasn't the great link. That
No,
was
it's not. Kalamazoo is not the great link.
No.
But I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Back to
Yes, go ahead, Chad.
Go ahead.
No. I was just saying it's a gorgeous zoo. There's a ton of walking. There's a rhino. That's close, hipster Spock. That's close. Very close. But anyway, they have a unique area that's Africa. And the way that they do that there is everything's wide open. Like you almost can't tell that there's any kind of separation between tigers and giraffes and rhinos and elephants and everything else. And so it's a ton of walking. I mean, it's an absolute ton of walking, but it's beautiful. So
San Diego's like that too.
Yeah.
Where it's like all open.
Yep.
What's up, T-Bear?
We got a lot to talk about, though.
That's what that sounded like.
We are. I am so excited to talk about this episode. It was so. I mean, there's certain parts of it that I'm still sitting here going, yeah, okay, but the rest of it makes up for it like 1,000 times fold.
I rarely rewatch the episodes. I rewatched this one, and I have questions.
Yeah, three times.
Yep.
3 times. Yeah.
I hate to break into the good mood and everything, but what are you laughing at?
What you're about ready to say? What are you going to break into the good mood with?
We lost someone this week.
We did. Yeah,
we lost someone. So I took it upon myself to make a special request to Space Force Command, and they've authorized that all flags this week will be flown at half-mast in honor of Captain Liam Shaw, commanding officer of the USS Titan. So if we could have just a quick moment of silence for Captain Liam Shaw. All right, show's only an hour long.
Yeah, you were so serious. You got me. I was like, wait, who really died?
For my phone to plug it in to get taps going when you were
Yeah.
saying that. And then you played that, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
Rest in peace. Bronson says, rest in peace, Shaw and Shelby, but mostly Shaw.
Mostly Shaw.
I tell you, I couldn't stand that guy the first time we met him.
Yep.
I remember the Packlet review that week. Titan Captain is a dick. That was the whole Packlet review, and we all agreed with it 100%.
Oh, for sure.
And 8 episodes later, it's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
We just ruined all of our hopes and dreams.
Well, I mean, there's still a chance, but my point is, it
just go into the mirror universe and get the nice shot.
Yeah, there you go, the nice shot.
But then I don't want that though. I want the asshole. That's what I want. I want the.
But it just goes to show you, like, what a good actor that guy is.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't remember his name right now, and what kind of good writing we had this season to pull a bait and switch like that. Just introduce a character for everyone to hate, and then he immediately becomes a beloved character a couple episodes later. I thought it was great. Thought it was great.
They are getting into this habit, though, of introducing you to characters to kill them off. Hammer.
Yeah. They
right. I mean, it's like every season we're gonna kill somebody you guys end up liking.
If they hammer the D, I'm gonna be really upset.
Oh, it'll blow up. It'll blow up this next episode. You know it will. It'll blow up.
They better not.
Oh yeah,
I have some theories. I have theories
as well.
Yeah.
Let's get to the news.
Yeah, we're all out of order. Let's
who cares? It's
Star Trek news.
Okay. I love how the bumpers just cut Chad off mid-sentence. That's great.
Daniel can figure out a way to not have it auto mute, but he won't. He's doing it by design.
Yeah. No, I can't. Yep. There's not.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. So
you're right. His eyes didn't close, but that doesn't mean anything.
Somebody said, "Don't let Troy drive the ship." They have to do a meta reference to that or something. They did one. They have to have her offer to take the con, and Jordy's like, no, I got this.
Yeah. Well, they did that already. They made the reference with Worf. So
yeah.
We're so excited to talk about everything. We don't even let Daniel do the news. Go on, Daniel.
Yeah, all right. Let's get our first news story. Comes to us today from Gizmodo, and the first news story is there is a big supersized farewell for Star Trek Picard in IMAX. So if you don't know, right now there are screenings in about 10 different cities around the country where you can watch Star Trek Picard on IMAX. These are free screenings, which is really cool. Yeah.
Wow.
It's in 10 different cities. So if we go to the link, let me find out here.
Is Kalamazoo one of those cities?
Strangely, no. Neither is Post Falls, Idaho. But
okay. Sorry, Scott.
Yeah.
I tried, brother. I tried.
Yeah.
Anywhere in Michigan next week?
No. Atlanta, Chicago, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Nothing in Detroit. The other big D. You want the big D in the big D?
I'll be there.
New York City, Orlando, Phoenix, San Francisco, Seattle, Washington D.C. Now they're all so popular that you have to get on the waiting list at this point. It's one screening in each city.
I'm surprised they're not charging for them.
I am surprised about that too.
That's a huge what? Like,
yeah, you know. Oh, look, James has got his ticket. He's gonna go.
Nice.
Well, tell us, James, how that goes.
Yeah. So, and it'll be on Wednesday night. So one night before it premieres for the rest of us, and it's going to be episode 9 and 10 back to back.
So stay off social media. Then.
Oh yeah.
So that's that news story. Our next news story comes to us from trekmovie.com. This one I'm not going to show because it'll kill my mic. But Picard becomes the first Star Trek series of the new ones to break into the top 10 ranking for streaming.
Yep.
So, yeah, according to Nielsen, Star Trek Picard has broken into the top 10. It is number 9, right behind The Glory on Netflix, and just above Gabby's Dollhouse, also from Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of either of those shows, but okay.
Gabby's Dollhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully Paramount is paying attention to that.
You would think. You would think.
Yeah. They have to be. They'd be totally irresponsible and stupid if. Well, never mind. They've done that too. So.
Right. So. Pretty interesting stuff that they are so highly ranked. I'm surprised Strange New Worlds didn't break in the top 10.
Yeah, really. There was a ton of hype around that when it was out.
Well, here's the thing with Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds is two things. It's a prequel to the original series, and it's a sequel to Discovery. It's kind of both of those things, or a spinoff of Discovery. It's both of those things at the same time. And I hate to say it, but every year we have less and less TOS fans in the world.
Right.
Because, the same
That's how timelines work.
What's that?
That's how timelines work.
Yes, that's how timelines work.
Yeah.
Whereas original TNG fans right now are between 30 and 50, and they are in the prime nostalgia age.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
between 30 and 50. Okay, as someone who sells vintage toys on the side, I can tell you those are the prime years for nostalgia and nostalgia-based buying.
Right.
So pay attention, Paramount. Pay attention. You've done a great thing. You've done a great thing this year. Do more of it.
So for our next news story, there was a big unveiling in Times Square this week. It was pretty big. So we actually have a correspondent, Duval, from our Facebook group. So let me play his video, and we can talk about it.
Trekcast.
The audio is a little bit rough.
This is Marino, Trekcast NYC freelance correspondent here at Times Square for the Star Trek Paramount Plus reveal that's going to be happening at 8 o'clock.
There's some big reveal he's going to show to us.
A little bit early, trying to see what exactly is going to be revealed at this location.
There it is. Boom. So for those on the audio, it is one of the
nice
billboards.
It's the D.
It's the D.
So very cool.
So Trekcast, there it is. They finally revealed it. The Big D.
Yes, he
So
said
there
it.
you go.
Yes.
Yes.
And the funny
amazing.
thing is that's probably not the first D to be on display in Times Square.
Mm-hmm. So
Probably
much tension
not.
before unveiling of the Big D. It's not the first time a D has been flashed in Times Square.
Nope.
Won't be the last time.
It is the first time that Paramount did it, though.
Yes,
like,
it is
a
the first
major
time Paramount
studio
has
just
unveiled
flashed the D, the
Mhm.
big D,
The big
in
D.
Times Square.
We are gonna milk this D thing.
Oh man,
We're gonna milk that D.
We're going to milk that D.
They just keep coming.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I
It's like a
just
deal.
watched the South Park
It's like a deal
episode
already.
like a week ago where the kids had figured out how to milk a dog. They had no idea what they were doing.
What?
See, when you just said that about milking the D, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Hard transition here, but our last news story comes to us from People Magazine.
It's a hard transition from
It
the
is
big D.
indeed. But this is one of those situations. Not only is it a news story, but it is a life lesson. So LeVar Burton was recently interviewed by People Magazine, and it was pretty neat. He talked about something that most of us had not considered. A few years ago, he was up potentially for becoming the host of Jeopardy, and he very much campaigned that he wanted that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he didn't get it, and a lot of us were pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
But in this interview, LeVar goes on to say that maybe in hindsight it was for the best. Because of that, because he had that availability now and wasn't so tied to Jeopardy, he was free to do Picard and to do Picard with his daughter.
Yeah.
So for him, it was much more important than Jeopardy being able to do this. So
I'm a very big believer in things happen for a reason. Maybe not everything, but a lot of things happen for a reason. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So that's the news.
This episode just got demonetized.
Rob,
No,
just like the way you're
no. D is just a letter of the alphabet.
That's right.
Yep.
Stands for dignified.
Exactly.
The D is dignified.
Indeed.
It's a dignified D.
You will respect that D, sir.
Respect that D.
All right, let's get to our main topic.
It's about time.
Fun will now commence.
All right, what are we talking about this week?
I don't know.
It's our last, almost last episode. It's episode 9, right?
Yeah. Episode 9.
VOX.
Vox. Yep. Let me pull up the.
Okay.
They took them off.
What?
Oh no!
They took what
They
off?
took off the log lines.
What?
Yeah. Oh, they're there. Okay. Yeah, they buried him. Okay, so here we
Gotcha.
go. A devastating revelation about Jack alters the course of Picard's for life forever, and uncovering the truth that threatens every soul in the Federation. The final battle begins as Picard and his crew race to save the galaxy from annihilation, but not without a gut-wrenching cost.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning because there's a lot to cover here. Obviously, when this episode starts, we see Troy and Jack, right where we left him, sort of, trying to go through his dream. She's very interested in the vines and what they represent. He can't really tell. He gets lost in a memory, whatever. This scene right here. And then, of course, she opens the door. And what do we see? It is not the Pa Wraith.
No.
Not even close to being the Pa Wraith, which I never really bought. I understood everybody's theory with it. I understood everybody's thought process with it. And I had said before several times, I even said it in my quick reaction, that whatever they wind up, girl over her cry count equals 2, yeah.
Yes. Amazing. I want to know what 2 times, what points made you cry?
Yeah,
her or me? Because
her.
yeah, exactly. No, because I got teary-eyed. No, I didn't. I thought that whatever they revealed behind that door, was going to be a little bit of a letdown because it was too much hype, right? So if it was the Pa Wraith, it'd be like, man, like that's it, really? Like that's didn't make sense to me, but whatever. But it wasn't that. Obviously, it's spoiler alert, the Borg.
Okay. So I don't know if you heard last week's episode, Chad, but yes, my correct prediction.
Yeah, I heard it.
Jack was a weapon, and the Borg was behind it.
Yeah, I heard it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let me ask.
Yeah.
What was your both of you, what was your honest reaction when you saw that Borg cube? Your honest initial reaction, not what you think now, at the time.
What?
Oh,
that was my honest reaction.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Okay.
Because at that point there was no explanation as to how in the hell is he Borg? Like, so that it seemed like a stretch. Like he's visibly not a Borg. He's got no Borg nanites in him. He's none of this stuff, right? And so that doesn't explain the control thing and the red eyes. That doesn't make sense, And so I honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, what? And then I thought, okay, that has to be some sort of maybe a red herring or a misdirection or something. And that's part of his vision, but maybe he can't figure out what it is. And it's an interpretation of what he's feeling or whatever. But and I kind of hope that maybe there'd be another level to that. But there wasn't, And then Deanna acted completely like a total noob therapist and just got up and ran out the door. I didn't understand that part at all. When she just gets up and runs off. Like, Deanna, you've been doing this your entire life. You're a Betazoid. Like, you've seen things before a lot worse than someone with the Borg cube behind a red door.
Right.
In Will's head, I'm imagining. Okay, so so that whole scene there didn't really make a whole hell of a lot of sense until you get later on in the episode, and then some things start to get kind of explained, right? So the next moment she runs off and she goes and confronts Picard and Beverly and is like, yeah, Borg sperm, yeah. Goes off and tells them what she saw, what it is, what the problem is. Yeah, this scene right here had me in stitches.
Yeah,
this scene right here had me in stitches.
Well, let's skip around.
I know.
Let's finish your.
Yeah. So no, I mean, and so now they're talking about, well, there's protocols, right? He's a weapon. He's dangerous. He needs to be isolated. He needs to be put in custody. He can't just be sitting there in a room somewhere, willy nilly to do whatever.
You guys?
No, I'm still here.
No, we're here.
Yeah,
we're here.
Can you hear us, Dan? He's frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen. Deanna gave us her cry moments. Is when Shaw calls her 7 of 9, and Geordi's she's beautiful Geordie or
yeah. So. Yep.
It's Deanna. Apologize for Deanna's poor absolute taking that on. So thank you.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Okay, so what were you saying, Chad?
No, I was just saying. So now there's protocols, right? So they've got to put him in custody, and this was a very touching moment with Picard where he's like, no, this is all my fault. This is all my fault. And he just seemed so old and frail in that moment, right? He did a very good job of that, I think, when he's like, I'm going to go talk with him, because it's his father talking to his son, explaining to him, wanting to explain to him anyway, why it's a problem now and how he knows that you're going to lose control. The things that the Borg Queen will do to you, you just can't, you can't imagine. You don't understand. And it's a very good scene between him and Jack when he goes and talks with them.
Yeah.
But of course, true to his worry and true to the danger that Jack is, like Jack just is able to walk right out. He's able to take control of the 2 security guards and just walk right out. And at that point, we still don't quite understand what the hell, how is he able to do that? And it didn't make any sense at all until, of course, we get the breakdown from Beverly and Geordie,
right?
Which I thought was very, very well done. That's I mean, talk about diabolical. The thing I don't understand with that, in terms of the DNA getting into the transporter pads and all this stuff, infecting all the young people and everything else, is how is it that this rogue group of changelings and the Borg are working together, and who's working for who? Is the Borg working? I can't imagine the Borg working for the changelings, but I can imagine the changelings working for the Borg because of the situation they're in.
The Borg, we know one thing about the Borg is they adapt. We know from Voyager that they encountered a species that they couldn't assimilate, species 8472. And they spend a significant amount of time just doing what they always did, and let's just keep trying to assimilate them, keep trying to shoot at them, and eventually, it didn't work. They had to resort to different methods, however silly it was, teaming up with a Starfleet ship.
Right.
The Borg has tried several times to assimilate the Federation and failed. Yep. So I imagine they are adapting. So I assume that
they've tried time travel. They've tried everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that a changeling can't be assimilated. And they learned from their last encounter with a species that can't be assimilated. Don't wage war against them. And maybe that's what prompted this team. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if we're gonna get an explanation.
I think we kind of have it. It's that this group of changelings are specifically the ones that want revenge against the Federation. The real changelings are back in the Gamma Quadrant. They're living their best life, and have their peace treaty with the Federation. So it's kind of a rogue element. So basically, they hooked up with the Borg. They became the Borg's thugs, and that's it. It's just a revenge mission.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we're going to find out that these changelings made their way back to the Great Link and were rejected. Maybe they had been changed by their experience so much that they were no longer compatible with the Great Link, and that's what drove them over the edge.
Or they're too violent,
like
or just...
Yeah, because we know they had to have some sort of contact with the Great Link in order for Odo to know about them and warn Worf.
Yeah.
And maybe they're dangerous to the Great Link. And that's why.
So you're saying it's Janeway's fault for aligning with the Borg against Species 8?
Maybe, who knows? You know, she's fumbled
maybe
a few times. She killed Tuvix. She aligned herself with the Borg.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because we also need an explanation as to why the Dominion is just standing by and doing nothing while a rogue faction of their group is wreaking havoc in the Federation, and they know about it. They obviously know about it because Odo knew about it. So, I mean, hopefully we get some of these answers.
Hopefully,
next
or
week.
they just may not. I mean,
I don't think there's any way for them to answer all the things we want to see answered in one episode.
I don't think so either.
Do we know what the runtime is of next week's episode?
You know, we were talking about this because I said to Daniel,
yeah,
during the week, I said, you know, I'm kind of hoping this will be a 2-hour finale. Historically, Berman era Star Trek, it's been a 2-hour finale for a series.
Yep.
Because it seems like a lot to tie up in 44 minutes or 49 minutes, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it's too much. You're not going.
Yeah, I don't see a runtime anywhere.
Otherwise, it's a complete shoehorned ending, the way that they ended the Klingon War in Discovery. Right? I mean, that was a complete stupid.
I mean, that's what they've done in the past too. Is they just end things, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, let's hope Terry Matalas isn't. I mean, he's done a fantastic job this season. So
I've got nothing but faith in Terry Matalas at this point.
Yep. Let's hope we're not wrong in that. But
Janeway did nothing wrong. Hold on. Janeway, walk away, James. Walk away.
You know what? I agree with him that she probably will show up next week.
Where's the
I hope she does.
Where's the band hammer?
Yeah.
So Shelby, Admiral Shelby. Did you catch her rank insignia?
No,
I didn't know.
She is a 5-star admiral. She had 5 pips, which means she is, you know, they usually follow U.S. naval tradition, but you know, there's only one 5-star general at a time. There's only one 5-star admiral at a time. So, you know, the 5-star general is the general of the army. He's like the guy. So, you know, we saw 30 years ago, there's likely 89 pips there, right?
Yeah.
We saw how eager she was to climb the chain of command 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, she climbed that thing all the way to the top. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Not only that, she was over the top in her little speech.
Yeah.
It was a little over the top.
Well, you know, you got to.
It's okay though. I mean, 200. I mean, think about what I saw someone say that earlier too, and I felt that watching it all 3 times. That it was a little bit over the top, but think about how excited you would be if you were a 5-star general and you got to announce over everybody there for the 250th. That's a major hallmark, right? That's a big number. You know, just like a 25 or 50 or 100 is 250. That's a nice round, huge number. So.
Right.
Yeah, Shelby does know how to play the game. So,
indeed.
I thought it was great to see her. I thought it was great to see her.
Yeah.
It was too bad she got shot in the chest, point blank range, so damn fast. But that's, you know.
So, because I suffer for the people, they interviewed her and Riker on the Will Wheaton show.
Ah, did that nice?
Yeah, and it was funny because she wasn't expecting this call. It came out of nowhere for her.
Oh, I'm sure.
They asked her, you know, just what it was like coming back and all that stuff. She loved it, loved every bit of it. What's really funny though is she was talking about how at conventions the way that she has been embraced has changed significantly in the past few years. Before, like maybe 10 years ago or so, people would come up to her and be like, "Man, you were such a bitchy character. I hate you so much," you know?
Yeah.
But in the past few years, people have been telling her, like, you're just somebody who knows what you want, and you're going for it, and you're just not going to take any guff, and you're just going to do it. And she says nobody really complains to her anymore. And she thought that was interesting.
It is one of the, not so rare, but one of the signs that Trek has always been kind of ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
The other thing I thought was funny is apparently one of her things is like once she memorizes her lines, that's it. Like she just knows them for life. And so she was just spouting off dialogue from TNG just right there on the set because it just so got into her. And then she was talking about how much she hated the techno babble. Yeah. And so like both Will and her like kind of going off about that. And then Riker's like, yeah, that was never a problem for me. And they're like, oh, you're just used to it? He's like, no, because in every one of those scenes, I just went report.
Yeah.
He didn't ever have to say anything about those. Spock.
Yeah. So
I don't think she's being truthful there. I think she wakes up every morning and watches The Best of Both Worlds.
Probably does.
And then every night before bed, she watches The Best of Both Worlds.
She sat there.
What
with
else
the
has
old
she got to do?
Getting ready.
Yeah. What else has she got to do? What else has she been in? I mean, I don't know what she does now for a living, but
new neighbor moves in, comes to the front door with an apple pie. She says, "Come on in. I'm watching The Best of Both Worlds."
Again.
Every day. It's Groundhog Day.
There you go. So there was there's a web series I like to watch, Screen Crush, and they put together some of the hints about the transporter system, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So if we go back through and rewatch the old episodes, Ro Laren didn't trust the transporter systems. The Changeling was a transporter chief or engineer or something like that. Vadic didn't want to use the transporter.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool when you put it all together.
So, they did a great job of layering that for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the Federation transporter system works kind of like the internet. They're all connected to each other. If you can, or at least in proximity to each other, you can transport from a ship in orbit of Earth to anywhere on Earth. You can transport from anywhere on Earth to anywhere else on Earth. So, and the reason I bring this up is, once this computer virus, because it's pretty much what it is,
right?
Once it gets in the system, this is not just Starfleet officers under the age of 25 who are affected by this. This is anyone who has stepped through a transporter connected to the system.
So this leads to one of my questions I had.
Yeah.
Which is,
what's that?
That leads to one of the questions I had. So that's a good tie-in. Which is, what do you need Jack for? If you can assimilate everyone with a signal, what do you need Jack for?
Because they're not assimilated until Jack starts transmitting.
But they triggered a signal.
He's a king.
He's the signal?
He's the king.
He was the signal. He got plugged in.
Okay.
He's the transmitter, not the receiver. Locutus was
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Locutus was a receiver. Everybody else is a receiver. The Queen is the transmitter. He is now a king and is a transmitter.
Okay.
So basically,
he was the adapter. Earth,
mm-hmm.
He was the USB plug that was the right side up. Never mind which side is the right side up, but he was the one that was the right side up.
So basically, everyone on Earth right now who has used...
Nice.
Hey, Mom, I'm doing an episode of Trekcast right now. Can I call you back? All right, bye.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's my ringtone. So what? So anyone who's used modern public transportation on Earth right now and is under 25 is assimilated. So Kestra's part of the Borg right now. But that also means, like, if there's still Amish people on Earth, they're not assimilated.
Right.
You know, if someone was camping in the mountains or whatever, you know, well, I guess, do we know how long the system was compromised?
No.
We don't know.
But it's apparently been going on for a while.
Yeah.
And James brought up a point. He says the transporter officer had implemented the code in the architecture of the Titan, which means they'd have to go from ship to ship or facility to facility to make these changes. No, that's incorrect. They got it into the base architecture of the transporter system. So all it had to do was propagate out.
Right.
It's like infecting a single server, or changing the root commands on a single server that's connected to all your other server farms across the globe. That just takes time to replicate out. I mean, it could have been just a month. It could have been longer than that. I would imagine this probably took a little bit longer than that, but not much.
So I feel like Terry Matalas is setting up his new show with all of this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And he's setting up the ability to bring all of these known characters back. Because let's look at the situation. You're on a Starfleet ship when this happens. If you're under 25, you're part of the Borg. If you're 25 or over, you're dead. That's it. You're dead. They're just slaughtering these people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means even if they come out of this, well, we know they're going to come out of this, but even if, when Picard and company and whoever save the day, Starfleet is decimated at this point. All of your officers are kids. All of your officers are kids. So who's going to run? Who's going to steer the ship? Who's going to run things?
It's Borg of the Flies.
Well, no, it's going to be. You're going to need some olds. You're going to need some
the olds.
Yeah.
You need the olds. So you're going to need Admiral Picard. You're going to need Admiral Riker. You're going to need Captain Seven. You're going to need Captain Data. You're going to need Admiral LaForge. You're going to need all of these people to fill in your command structure. And who knows, you may need those old ships for a while because we don't know what's going to happen to this fleet. This fleet may get destroyed in this process. I can see Seven and Raffi getting off the Titan and making their way back to the Fleet Museum. I think we're going to see Voyager. I think we're going to see Voyager show up.
Oh, I think we're going to see all the old ships: the Defiant, the Voyager,
the Bird of Prey, the Bounty.
Yeah, they're all going to come back.
So I'm not sure I would go so far as to say that that's what they're doing to set up the Star Trek legacy with all the older characters, because I just don't see either all those older characters coming back again after this season. Captain Jellicoe's probably dead.
Characters too that you really haven't brought back, like Harry and Tom,
exactly. There's other people you haven't brought back yet. And it's a real shame, though.
They have a bunch. They have a bunch to pick from. I know they're not going to get everybody.
Right.
They're not going to get everybody.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. I don't know if that's what they're going to do. I don't see any indications for that, but it does kind of make sense. And it's also a shame that they didn't set up Starfleet Academy to take place in the aftermath of this. Because, I mean, how perfect is that? The Academy is going to be decimated. There's not going to be anybody there. You have to start all over again.
It's not too late. It's not
too late to change that, because that's a perfect setup. Yeah, it's a perfect setup. I don't understand their propensity of going that far with Disco and all whatever. Anyway, so let's get back to this episode. I honestly don't know. Like, the only way that they can get out of this, the only way that they can correct this, is with a lot of people dying.
Star Trek Blue Plate Special Edition.
So are we going to see Picard die again? Are we going to see Data die again? Are we going to see Geordi's
I think
death?
Picard's dead.
We're going to see, I mean, how many of them are all going to die in this next episode? I mean, the number of tears we just had is going to double.
Picard is going to die, and he's going to save Jack doing it. and it's going to be something along the lines of he could have died to save Starfleet. He died to save his son.
Yeah, and so Jack is fully assimilated now. He got the spiky spikes in the back of the neck in this episode. So is he fully assimilated?
Well, that was one question I had too. Was like, so the Queen says, "If I'm the darkness, you're my light," right?
Yeah.
So does that mean Jack is going to be a Borg with all the plastic and maybe his is white colored or light colored plastic?
Yeah, what are they going to make him look like? We didn't actually get a good picture of what the Borg look like now.
No, we didn't.
I don't know where they left Picard's body. Still on the Titan, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, what are they going to look like? And then, of course, we saw the backside of the Borg Queen.
Yeah,
and that was her voice.
Right.
So that was excellent. I mean, obviously, she can't be in it, unfortunately. But
well, and Terry Metalis has alluded that we will see her in this next episode.
Okay. But she looks different already. You can tell from the backside she looks different.
Creek.
Her voice, at least. We don't know if that's her.
It's Alice Creek from First Contact. It's not the one we had last season because she passed.
Right.
And that was a different Borg Queen from a different timeline.
Yeah. So, but she looks different. You can tell.
You never see an ethnic Borg.
They had all sorts of different species.
I don't know what he means by that.
I don't. Yeah.
He wants a Borg. He wants a Borg with a big bushy Italian mustache. And he's a plumber. He's a Borg. But he's also a plumber. And then he wants a Borg.
It's to me, the Borg.
It's to me, the Borg. Exactly. Tuvok.
Yeah, exactly.
Tuvok. Tuvok's not ethnic enough for you? Come on.
We ain't found shit. Anyway, every time I think of Tuvok, I think of that.
I wanted him to say that to Seven when he was talking. Yeah.
Borg tribbles. Yeah. How come not Borg tribbles?
Yes.
They're food. That's why.
Yeah. Sam's right. Terry Metalis has also given a hint that the Borg cube is not in a nebula, or at least the orange cloud is not a nebula.
Oh yeah, no, I knew that instantly. It's a conduit.
Or it's more of those space babies.
I just figured out who's going to save the day.
Oh yeah,
who's that?
It's those genetically modified tribbles. They're gonna beam a bunch of them in, and they're gonna eat the Borg.
They are mighty warriors.
They are.
So okay, so we have a reason for why they kept Picard's body. Why do they have Kirk's body? What is the point of that?
Oh, that's just a MacGuffin in the background. That's just a whatever. Yeah. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I do like how they've turned the aromatic syndrome thing on its head, though.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
Kirk's body traveled through the Nexus.
Sure.
I'm sure they want to study it for whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any one of a million different things that he encountered, and they need it. So
only humans to beat a Gorn in hand-to-hand combat.
Exactly. Yeah, they're gonna dip him in bronze and make a statue out of it.
No, they're gonna put him in carbonite in a rectangular case and hang it on the wall.
There you go. So this thing about Picard's aromatic syndrome not being aromatic syndrome, and being this thing, it kind of fixes something from the movies.
Yeah,
it fixes something from First Contact that never made sense. When they first encounter the Borg in First Contact, he says that he can hear them.
Yeah,
and they never explained. Well, how can he hear them? They took all the Borg shit out of him, and they just never went back to it. Never explained it. So this kind of explains that, because he didn't hear Hugh.
Right.
When they met Hugh, he didn't hear those other Borg.
There's a reason for that.
Lore. What's that?
There's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that?
Yeah, there's a reason you couldn't hear those, because those are not transmitters. Okay. Those groups were receivers. There's two different kinds of Borg.
Mm-hmm.
There's transmitters and there's receivers. All of those were just drones set up to be receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. And the reason he could hear them is...
So he was hearing the Queen in First Contact.
He was hearing the transmission, because he's a receiver, and he was hearing the transmission, It all makes sense now. It really does. It's a
Yeah,
very
they fixed a lot of things.
You can really tell. I mean, we knew this about this season so far, even before this episode. But now you can really tell just how big of a difference Terry Matalas is making with just his. I mean, even if the man doesn't have every, nuanced detail about everything about Star Trek for the last 55 years, the way that most of us, listening to the show right now do. Even if he doesn't have all of that, you can tell at least he's done his homework and he's studied and he knows he knows what to do in the right ways. Whether we agree with it or not, it's still it just clearly differentiates him from Kurtzman and Kurtzman's inability to even understand the franchise, the fans, the shows themselves, what they're about. Like it's just a huge. It's black and white. It's yin and yang. It's 360-degree difference. It's just crazy how nuts difference it is between the two, and how anybody in Paramount could be looking at this point and think that they didn't make a giant effing mistake with Kurtzman, other than all the things that have happened before got us to this point, which we can always say that about anything, but
right.
And just look at, and I love Strange New Worlds. I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the Enterprise in that show does not look like the Enterprise in the original show. And I'm not saying it should, because that set was 60 years old or whatever. I'm just pointing out that it's 180-degree difference with what they've done here. They recreated the bridge, and it's almost exactly the way it was in 1994.
Oh, if you look at the picture shot for shot, it is identical. I mean, it is as good as a replication as you're going to get.
Yeah.
Well, and then the other thing that's kind of funny that they alluded to in the show is Riker says, "Oh, I thought it was bigger," and it's because the movie set version of it was bigger, and they recreated the TV set. So.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get back to where we are in the episode, right? So we see Execute Order 66 take place, and the Borg all of a sudden all the kids are assimilated. And they start taking over everything. Comms gets locked out. Everything gets locked out, and even the formation of the ships it looks like the DNA strands, which was a bit silly, in my opinion.
With that circle with a line through it, that's.
If you look at the DNA sequence strands that they show in some of the images as they're walking through the explanation of how they've manipulated the actual DNA base pairs and everything. And then you see the formation in space. It's the same thing.
Okay.
They literally formed what looked like a DNA, the ACGT. They literally formed that same shape in space. A bit much.
Yeah, that's what I
thought they looked like crop circles.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The aliens have invaded. Here's our crop circles.
Yeah, I mean, and I hope we get to see the destruction of Starbase One in the next episode, because it was like they were poised to do that and we didn't see it. I don't know if that's because of budgetary reasons and they didn't want to go through all the CGI of all of that or what, but boy, they better show that in this next episode. So, the Borg alphabet. Yeah, it could be the Borg alphabet. I don't know. It just looked kind of fun. It's a weird formation. Like, how in the hell is that a good formation? Like, a good formation, if I was going to do it with these kinds of ships, is I'd make sure their shields were all overlapping. Not...
We got Dan. Because Jasmine says, I'd like to see Geordi lay out the carpet on the D.
Yeah. That was hilarious, by the way, when Picard says that. You think he's going to give this wonderful speech about what he's missed and them all being together, and he says, the carpet.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's no carpet on any of the other ships.
No.
Anywhere. So... It said Chad is wrong in the carpet. Yeah. Hey, I'm wearing the Chad is wrong sweater today. I am literally wearing it today. I don't know how well you can see that on the show, but I am wearing it. Anyway, my wife thought that was hilarious, by the way, when this came and I put it on. She just shook her head and said, "Oh my God, I can't take you anywhere." And I'm wearing this everywhere, honey. She's like, "You can't go anywhere with that on." I'm like, "No, I'm going everywhere with this on."
Nice.
I'll have to get a different version of it for Vegas. Obviously, I'll be a little hot.
Yeah, it'll be warm up. Well, in the casino, it'll be pretty chilly.
True.
Do that.
True. Yeah. Man, we can work out something. Anyway, back to the episode. So what do we think is going to go from here? I mean, obviously we know what happens, and we're kind of at the back end now. When we talk about the formation and everything else. They get to the Enterprise. They get to Hangar 12. They pull out the D. We love it. It's amazing. It's awesome. And off they go to warp right back into the thick of it. One ship right back into the thick of it.
Right.
How do you think that's going to go? Not very well.
They're riding on their horse and they're going back into town. It's very much a Western.
I don't quite understand that game plan. Like, you wouldn't think they'd want to get a few more people involved?
There's no one else to get involved.
Why not? There's Romulans. There's the Klingons. There's
I know. I agree with you.
I'd imagine there are also escape pods that have been launched. I'm sure when people realized what was going on, some people just abandoned ship. Some people took off in civilian ships from Earth. Let's get the hell out of here. I don't know. But
it's a lot to do in a 50-minute, final.
I know. That's why I'm hoping it's a 2-hour.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
There's got to be some people who escaped. There's got to be some olds that escaped.
Yeah. You
got
that other board cube
civilians.
With the XPs?
I have it.
What's up?
I know exactly how the finale is going to happen.
Okay.
And it ties in perfectly with everything we know so far from all of New Trek since Disco came out, Lower Decks came out, Stranger Worlds came out, everything. I know exactly what's going to happen.
What's that?
In the final moments of this,
shut them all down.
In the final moments of this episode, O'Brien's going to show up, shut them all down, fix everything, and that is how he gets the greatest, the greatest whatever engineer or whatever in all of Starfleet history. That's how he gets his statue.
God, if they do that, if they tie it in, that would be amazing. He comes in with his rolled up sleeves, just angry. Oh, look what you've gone and done.
So there's still time. I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but there is still time for the emissary to show up.
Yeah, get ready for
there is still time for the...
Yeah,
I know. I'm just saying, we're just spitballing here. I'm saying there's still time for the emissary to show up. There's still time for the emissary to show up with the lost fleet from the Dominion War. There's a Jem'Hadar fleet still in the wormhole somewhere from the Dominion War.
Right.
And if the founders are at peace with the Federation and they feel an obligation to deal with these changelings, these rogue changelings, I mean, they could order this fleet to ally itself with what remains of Starfleet.
They could literally not even have to have him come back, but just use like a glowy glamour shot type image of him from when he was in the what are they called? What was that when they had all the white background? Obviously, what do they call that? When he would go into the worm, when he'd go into the wormhole or whatever,
the Celestial Temple.
Yes, when he'd go into the Celestial Temple, they could literally just reuse one of those images and just blur it a little bit more, and just use something that he said at a convention somewhere that made zero freaking sense to anybody.
It's real.
And then just be like, everybody's like,
through me to you, through me to you. That's one thing he was.
That clip right there. We're done. Yeah.
Convention once.
Yeah.
And, You're all getting your hopes up. Jack is going to use sheer will to save the day because apparently he's a Green Lantern now. He's powered by willpower.
Yeah. Well, he's a Red Lantern actually.
Well, and his hubris,
his sheer fucking hubris. Yes.
That's how he'll save the day.
Oh man, I don't know. So many.
Because here's the thing. Literally anybody can show up, and they have shown us that.
Yeah.
Several times they've had people pop up and, hey, that's so and so.
It's like wrestling. So, anyone can pop out from the back, and here we come.
It's not like wrestling. Please stop.
The Undertaker could come out.
Go get your.
The Undertaker. I'm just putting it out there. If the Undertaker comes out, this is my last episode of Trick.
Oh, this will be a renewed start for me. You hear that dong? He comes out.
Yeah, Will Wheaton could show up again because he's a
Yeah.
time god
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
or whatever, space time
So-
god.
So
OG?
I'm gonna say a name right now,
Yeah.
and you're all gonna go, "Oh yeah, that person exists."
Oh shit.
Laris. No one gives a shit about Laris.
Yeah, totally gone. Well, you know
Totally
who
gone.
else? You know who else they totally don't care about and is totally gone?
Her
That
husband?
would make sense for them to be in this episode, this next episode now, or have been in this episode at some point, this season, some point.
Who's that?
Agnes
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
totally wrote that off. There's no way, even one scene in this where Beverly says no one's seen or heard from the Borg in over 10 years. Nobody corrects her
hmm
because we just saw them a month ago.
Well, no,
And everybody
that
knows
wasn't the
about it
Borg.
because they were in front of this dimensional rift thing and were shooting at it to keep it closed and whatever.
I think in universe they've made a delineation between Agnes and her people and the Borg, because even Shaw said in an early episode, the Borg are still out there. The real Borg, not that weird shit that happened on the
Stargazer. Yeah.
Yeah. So, however, I mean, it would make sense for her to show up now.
It would.
That is one way to kind of fix this.
Yeah.
What happens when a good Borg queen meets an evil Borg queen? What comes out the other end?
The big
Right?
D, apparently.
The big T.
So Pavel was saying that Terry Metalis said on Twitter that it will be very full hour this next episode. So it would have to be.
It has to be nonstop, whatever, progression, nonstop. There can't be, if there's
Yeah.
any of the stop little, moments of dialogue off to the side to go
Talk
over
about her
someone's
feelings.
yeah, all that kind of stuff. That stuff is going to be like non-existent or extremely short. So yeah, nobody wants to remember the weird shit at the Stargate. Yeah, that was weird. So, and Dan, you are non-existent, buddy. I can tell you're just totally out of sync, and maybe you're moving, and maybe you're trying to move really slow, and you're trying to look like it's all slow mo for you, but no, it's not.
We'll tell you
The
what.
lens flares got to him.
Let's get to feedback, and maybe
Yeah, let's do that. We're already an hour in. We better
Yeah.
start the feedback.
All right.
Open hailing frequencies.
Hey!
Frequencies open, sir.
All right. Yeah, Dan's frozen. So, well, to start off feedback, we did have another correspondent. Strongbeard Scott Bowders went to a convention in Kalamazoo, and he had a chance to talk to Jeffrey Combs and Terry Farrell. And so let's play that.
As the Galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. And on behalf of all of them, I just want to say thank you for both of you for being here in Kalamazoo, my hometown. And we wanted to say thank you for everything you brought to the franchise. You guys, both of you, are spoken fondly about the podcast. It was posted on the Trekcast Facebook page that I was going to be here, and they wanted to know what questions I should ask you guys. And we got the usual fare of like playing with different characters, and we want to know more about the spots, and what's it like working with Avery Brooks. But one that sort of caught my eye was, have you guys ever had, the cast and crew of Deep Space Nine, ever had a potluck? And if so, who brought the best dish?
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened. That's a great idea.
Who's the best cook?
The Nala would probably be a good way to go. Yeah, the Nala would be the best. 98. Thank you. And thank you for your time.
So there you go.
That's awesome.
That was pretty solid.
Yep.
Looks like Dan is slowly coming back. So as soon as he's fully back, I will put him in.
Sounds good.
Yeah. We did also have a Ko-fi account donation from Commander Felton. And he asked us
Thank you.
what we're going to review after Picard. That's a great question. What are we going to review after Picard?
Well, in between Picard and Strange New Worlds, because that comes out, June?
Yeah.
So we've got no new shows in between the two, obviously.
Right.
So we don't have to review anything. We can go back to our roots and be the Trekcast we've always been and talk about specific topics or specific without even having to go back and review old episodes. We can just go over.
I'm so desperate for another Starship Draft.
Yeah, Starship Draft. We've been talking about that for a long time. Trivia. We can give away prizes, things that'll be handed out or whatever at Vegas. All kinds of things. We've talked about a lot of that stuff for a long time. Trying to fit it in here and there is always difficult when there's pretty much nonstop something. And we may go back to the every other week. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'd like to just keep going every week because it's kind of ingrained at this point.
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot of people on deck ready to go. So as soon as we get Dan back, we'll bring him in.
Yeah.
There he is. There's Dan.
Hey.
Hey.
I don't know what was going on.
I do have a thing from Timothy Morris to play.
Oh, go for it. Oh, he's setting it up. Okay, well, you set that up. Let me bring in our first caller. Strongbeard has joined us. Strongbeard has entered the chat. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
It's going, man. Comic-Con yesterday was fantastic. Got to meet some great people. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I got Terry Farrell. She signed my collector plate here.
Nice.
And I wasn't gonna all this stuff costs money, but I said, the heck with that, I only live once. So Jeffrey Combs, here he wrote, Scott, long live the Dominion.
Nice.
And signed it for me. So it was outstanding.
Subject of the Dominion. That's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Dominion,
So,
the other big D.
It was great. It was great. Loved it. So
you get big D's from both ends.
Both of us wore the Trekcast shirt. So
I saw that.
Talked about that to a lot of people. There was a Star Trek booth there. I'll post some more pictures on the Trekcast Facebook page. So talked those guys up, and it was great.
Yeah, this is why you gotta join our Facebook group, people. So.
Absolutely. A lot of fun D-talk on the Facebook group.
Bunch of guys on the internet talking about it. So.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say a bunch of somewhat old. Dan. Yeah, the big D. Yeah.
I mean, you are taller than me, so yes, you are the big D.
And I also want to thank Chad for filling in for me this morning. That's great.
Yeah, that's good. It's good you can do that.
I can retire now. I don't need to be here anymore. I can just watch the shows on Sundays and not have to be here. It'd be great.
Yeah. If you guys would like, I have a Pac-Led review for you.
Oh, yeah, do it.
Okay. All right, here we go. The United Federation of Planets, in association with Frontier Day, proudly present Star Trek Picard, Season 3, Episode 9, Vox, a Pac-Led review. The Fat D is back! Stay tuned next week for the Star Trek Picard series finale, Pac-Led review.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thanks, buddy. We're going to have to go kind of quickly through these because we have so many people.
Absolutely. Good seeing you guys.
Thank you.
You too, buddy. Thanks.
All right.
You did a great job.
You did an amazing job.
That thing. That's awesome.
So next online, we've got Spooky. So let's bring him in. Caller.
Spooky.
What's up, Spooky?
Hey, what's going on?
You can hear me this time. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So, I gotta say, I'm playing the last right after the end credits music, like the stuff they play over the very last end credits. That's what I'm playing.
Yeah.
1 minute of audio for like the past couple days. I'm like bringing me to tears when I saw that the D come out. I was like, yes.
Yeah. Everyone was so excited.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing.
And I got my ticket.
To you're going. That's right.
Ah, awesome.
Nice. All right. You gotta let us know what that's like when you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's this week. Is it middle of the week or when is it again?
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday at 9:15 p.m. The Lincoln Theater in AMC Lincoln Cinema 12. I think 66 or 67th Street. I don't remember which one.
Okay.
I work in the city that day. It just happened like I have a really big event in the city with my job.
Oh, nice.
And I told my boss, and my boss is an even bigger Trek fan, but he's like, why didn't you tell me about this? I'm like, I did. He's like, I thought it was a convention. I'm like, it's not a convention. They're showing the damn 2 finale. He's like, oh, I wish I could have gone. I'm like, yeah, can I leave a little early? He's like, yeah, get out of here.
It's like, no, sorry, we need you. We need you that night.
Yeah. I mean, you can give me your ticket.
Like, yes, thank God.
Nice.
Well, you'll have to come on next Sunday as well and kind of give us your thoughts and your opinions on it, and how many people were there geeking out with you, the whole 9 yards. It'll be great, man.
I'm the only concern I have right now is the fact that it took half an hour to get the tickets from the site crashed and everything else like that.
Yeah, I saw that it crashed.
And the thing was saying, the site actually says, listen, if you get a ticket, that doesn't guarantee you're getting in. So I'm trying to get there early because it's like a 9:15 show. I may get there at 5:00 and the line may be around the block twice. So I'm going to try to get my butt in there. But
so what are they, the airline now? Is Paramount the new airline where they sell all the seats twice? Yeah.
I don't know. I know that they said that there's free concessions and like free posting. I'm like, hey, give me free food and free movie. I'm good with that.
It's going to be like when the prequels came out. Lines around the block, people standing there.
There's a lot of shows. There's a lot of TV shows filmed in New York City where it's it's the same thing. You get the ticket online, and there's 600 seats, but they send out 1,200 tickets.
Right.
And whoever's there is there.
Yeah.
So they tell you, don't come to New York City just for this. Make sure you have other shit to do while you're here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Awesome,
it'll
man.
be a spectacle one way or the other.
Thanks for being on the show. We're gonna keep going because we have so many people.
Daniel's gonna chop everybody.
Indeed. Hey, man, we have a lot.
We do.
Let's get
them all on.
So there he is.
Nice. Hey, morning, guys. My official Trekcast shirt is still in the mail, so I should be getting it next week, I think. So
all right,
be wearing that next time.
That's acceptable.
Just in time for the finale.
Yeah, just in time for the finale. Yeah.
But I thought I'd share this. I shared my D with you.
Look at that.
So
D.
I actually had. This is actually another one, but I bought this on eBay a couple years ago. But I had the original one as a kid, and I remember going to the store, like asking my parents. I was like, what, 7, 8? Like I want the D. I want the D at the store. I want to go get a new D. And back then, these are die cast. I mean, these are solid metal. These are real toys.
So that's a heavy D. But I gotta be honest with you. I got a D downstairs, and it's a lot bigger than that one.
It's how you use it, Dan.
Can your D separate?
Apart.
Yeah.
His D comes apart.
So I don't know if it was foreshadowing Deanna, crashing the D, but I remember the plastic part that held this on broke as a kid, and the original it fell on my foot, and these things hurt. This is what made you. This is what made 80s kids, really appreciate toys.
Did you step on your D?
Well, I tripped over my D.
We're just a bunch of little kids, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
We are nothing but a bunch of little boys.
Yeah.
Giggly is all get out. I mean, we are so nerds right now. I love it. It's great.
He's crying.
I'm crying. I watched the episode a couple times, and I rewound the last 10 minutes of it just to see that scene.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, a dozen times so far, and I'm probably going to watch it again today just to see it again, because it's just, it just brought me back to as a kid, and I still remember that. So.
Yeah, I will for sure watch this last week's episode and the finale back to back again, just for that.
Oh yeah.
Can I just say, I don't think I've ever been as excited. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard and been so sad and choked up in a long time watching Star Trek. There's just really something special about this season.
Yeah.
Mostly the D. But
they choked up on the D.
He's choked up on the D. It's too big for him.
Absolutely. So, before we let you go, Taryn, any predictions for the finale?
something's getting blown up,
Oh yeah.
and I
It'll be
so
the
hope
D.
it's. Yeah, I hope not. I don't know. I at this point, I'm still. I can't even predict anymore because it's just enjoyable. For the first time, I'm not watch after an episode. I'm not just like my head hanging down, like shaking my head the whole time. It's like, oh my god, I want more. What's next? What's next? What's next week? Like, I want to know what's next week. What does Terry have installed for us as a finale? And yeah, at this point, I'll take whatever they get. I'll take whatever
Well,
D
it's
they give me.
wonderful.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll take whatever we
You'll
get.
take that
Any
D
part
how
of the
they
D.
give it to you.
Even if it's just
Exactly.
So no, but I mean, this is another thing too that's wonderful about this. Thank God they didn't just dump all of these episodes at once, right? And we're having to wait week to week, right? I mean, I'm really liking the fact that just about everybody has gone back to that format of week to week instead of dumping them all. Almost everybody. Netflix still dumps everything at once for their shows, but that's whatever. That's Netflix. So, I do like that we have to wait.
It makes you hold on to the subscription longer.
For sure.
Well, sure. Yeah, I mean, they want Turkey around, and they did it last year, and they're going to do it this year for the most part. There's going to be some gaps, which is probably okay.
Yeah,
because people got to catch up sometimes. But yeah,
awesome. Well, thanks, Taryn.
All right, guys.
Thanks, man.
We
See you, buddy.
We got more people. We got Chazbiz also waiting. So there he is.
There he is.
He's pacing around. Oh, he's got the hat. Look at that.
I got the hat on. I'm at my parents' house. Yay.
Oh, okay.
my internet got cut off this week, so I don't know what's happening.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Gotta pay them bills, man.
No, I had a DDoS attack on my house.
What?
And I have a local internet provider, right? And my local internet provider said, you have been canceled for a whole year. So I don't have internet in my house right now.
Dang. What happened?
And I'm like, okay, I guess I got to go back to AT&T because they have better firewalls because they protect you on DDoS attacks. So if you ever do a local internet provider, be careful.
Wow.
Because they will
this
cut you off.
This is Chazbiz officially letting it slip that he is,
the Borg infiltrated my house.
No,
So.
you're clearly with the Ferengi Board of Commissions. You're with the FCA. Somehow they're looking for more Latinum that somehow you've absconded with. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow.
So I had to drive 25 miles just to do this. So.
You got to take down.
That's some
your Bitcoin
commitment,
farm.
dude.
Yeah, that's
some commitment.
Yeah.
And your parents are sitting there going, "What the hell are you doing?"
No, they're my dad's at church, so.
Okay.
Sorry,
Wait,
folks are gone.
hold
Folks
on.
are gone. I can get on a podcast. Folks are gone.
Yeah.
Your parents are gone. You come by, call into the podcast, make a sandwich, do a load of laundry, and then you're out before they get back.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
So
what do you think of the episode, Chazbiz?
Oh, it was great. Well, the first part of it, I was angry because the revelation of the Borg. I was like, we already had this, and I was like, no. And they drug it out because Deanna's like, has to sit there, look at Jack, runs off, goes to Beverly and everybody else, tells them what's going on, and then Jack's just sitting there all pissed off because he's by himself. Then Picard goes in there and says, hey, it's the Borg, and we're going to leave you here. And then he goes crazy and finds the Borg. So, and becomes the Vox or whatever it is.
The voice.
The transmitter. And, and then after that, that's when you get to see, was it the Enterprise? Is it the G? The new Enterprise?
The F, I thought it was.
Or was the F? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of fat and ugly in a way. It's not the prettiest one.
No,
but it's nice. I like that.
I mean,
one,
I like
because
it,
it's
but
strung out, right? It's got that Voyager almost shape to the
it's got that
exactly.
arrow.
I like it.
Looks completely different.
Yeah,
I don't like where the captain's chair is on the the F or whatever because it's just sitting there in the middle.
Do you think the F has carpet?
No, the F. I think it's Brazilian now. So.
Yes.
It's
not where I was going. But okay.
Somebody's waxing those floors.
There you
so.
go. Very polished.
And then, of course, like, what did Data say? Because Geordi was Like, you need to be happy or be positive or whatever. Say something, and Data says, "I hope we die quickly."
Hope we die quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way he says it though, with that look on his face as he leans
like,
in.
Yeah, he's like, "I hope we die quickly."
And there's a little bit of lore popping up.
And he has that smile on his face as he turns back basically to the camera and looks right at or out the screen or whatever at everybody with that same goofy ass look on his face. They had to do that take like 6 times because one of the two of them was just cracking up laughing at it. I mean, I do like this version of Data very, very much because it's the Data that we wanted to have, that Data wanted himself to become at some point down the road, as human as possible, right? And I think it's fabulous.
When he comforts Picard,
it's perfect.
Puts his hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, he knew there was nothing he could say to comfort him, so he just put his hand on his shoulder and let him know, "Hey, I'm here for you, buddy."
And that was the right thing.
Yeah.
And you could see the look on Picard's face. It was great.
Well, it's great to see him with emotion now, and I know Brent Spiner's having fun because he could actually emote instead of be a robot.
Yeah.
So on the Will Wheaton show, they were talking about when they're in the hallway, and they're like, "We need to get off. We need to get off." And then 7-9 says, "The robot is right." Apparently, that was a line that Jerry, she came up with in rehearsals, and they all died laughing when she said it. She just said it as a joke, and that's why they put it in the scene. So
I love how she can do those deadpans.
Yeah,
Data's face. He's like, "What the F, dude? I'm right here."
Yeah. Absolutely.
But she does deadpan those great. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Any other predictions for next week?
Ooh, I mean, I'm hoping Jellicoe comes back and whips everybody into shape and takes over. I like to see.
You know what would have prevented this?
Four-shift rotation.
Four-shift rotation, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Deanna needs to wear a uniform.
Yeah.
It's like he comes on the bridge to be like, "What are you idiots doing?"
I mean, before he came along, it was a luxury cruise liner, essentially. It was a love boat in space.
Yes, and that parody on SNL was perfect when they did that. And, it was like, out of sight,
Which is funny because he's on Star Wars now.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. He's working at the DMV in Star Wars.
Well, what's funny is both shows are ending next week.
And nobody's talking about The Mandalorian this season, which is totally weird.
There are some real serious parallels between what's happening in The Mandalorian and what's happening in Picard. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Awesome.
I mean,
don't tell us what they are. Just, mention
I can tell you if you want.
A big character dies. It looks like the main character will probably die in the last episode.
Yeah, the Mandalorians go back to the home planet, and then it's a trap, and all the Imperials are there to kill the Moff Gideon's there to kill them all. Enterprise crew goes back home. It's a trap. All the Borg are suddenly there to kill all of them. I mean,
do you think Mando's gonna die next week? Or
I think so.
Really,
I don't think
Pedro's done.
Well,
so I mean, he's a voice actor now. So
they have been saying prepare for big sadness for the next Mandalorian.
Man, that would suck.
And there is talk that Pedro is just too damn expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a voice actor now. He's not even under that suit.
Yeah, but even then,
he can really phone it in.
Yeah,
just muffle his voice like he's in a helmet.
So we'll see, but yeah.
Well, next week is like, I think Picard's definitely gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna be. Well, I know, but I mean, he's 82 now or whatever.
So's Data.
And Data, no, I don't think Data's gonna die. I think Data's gonna live. I think Geordi's gonna live, of course. Yeah. Riker, maybe Beverly.
I'll give him Raffi.
We'll give you Raffi. And we forgot to mention that Shaw finally called 7-7.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he died, he acknowledged that she was 7-9, and I thought that was, really good. And I kind of wish Shaw would have had a bigger death because it was like, Shaw died in a way.
And then we move.
Yeah, and then we move.
Move
Well,
on.
because there's so much going on in this episode.
Yeah.
That they have to move, and sometimes you almost need to space it out.
Yeah.
Like.
So it sits there and sticks. Yeah.
Yeah, where it really sticks. You're like, oh man, he sacrificed himself, and
I'm sure we'll hear about it in the next episode at some point. I'm sure someone will make a mention of it, so it'll stick. But
now, somewhere down the line, there will be a USS Liam Shaw. That is my prediction.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and the title of this episode should have been "D in a Box."
Nice.
Because when the when the shuttlecraft approaches, all of a sudden you see the doors open and you see the D.
Yeah.
And it's
and
like,
Jordan says, one.
And he's
go
like,
get a box.
Yeah.
Put your D in that box.
Yeah.
3.
Open
the box. We could do this. We could literally do this
I would
in
want
Vegas,
Captain Justin
all 3 of
Timberlake.
us with boxes and have an Enterprise D inside of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
God, no.
No.
At the convention, you put an Enterprise D in it.
That's
You
what I
walk
just
around
said.
With a box. Yeah.
What I just said.
Yeah.
That's the D's in the box.
D in the box.
Just walk around with a box.
Scott's like, I'm out. I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
What's your costume? I'm a D in a box.
Awesome. Well, Chazwiz, thanks. We got more people still waiting, so we have so many.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Just gone.
Sorry.
You got to work on that, bud.
I know I do. I'm sorry, Chazwiz. All right, last one. Spock.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you
How
doing?
you doing, buddy?
All right. So, one more week, huh? Really sad.
week.
I can't believe it's almost over.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, would you have liked to have like even 2 more episodes?
Oh yeah.
I want.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's best to go out with you wanting more.
I mean, if this season was like 12 episodes.
I want 26, like it's 1992
There
all
you
over again.
That would have been great. I mean, the whole time I had goosebumps because everything connected so well, right? Like they put everything together. So, I mean, it was clever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was very well constructed.
I mean, nobody had a like, you look at you look online and you try to see, okay, did anybody have issues with anything? I didn't see anything like that. It used to be that people would be complaining about this and that, but nobody complained this week.
Mm.
Yeah,
Not
that's
really.
true.
No, not
I
really.
had
I mean,
some
there's
people
always little
complaining
things
about
here
the
and there,
board.
but yeah, I mean, sure. But at the same time, they did a good job with explaining it and setting it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it and like, oh, that makes a lot of sense that way, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but one thing is that if this was so Borg related, why didn't they do more stuff with 7 of 9?
Well, I mean, when Vadic's on the bridge of the Titan, she looks at her at 7 and 9 and says, "It's appropriate that you're here."
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they were hiding it. That's
Yeah.
the only real reason is they were trying to hide it.
Yeah.
And they did a very good job of hiding it, even though they threw little things in here and there. You couldn't pick up on those until you look back, and that's intentional.
Mhm.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That is how it's supposed to be. Yep.
Yeah.
Because it
One of
makes
those
you want to
things
go back and
where-
rewatch this
I was
entire
just gonna
season.
say that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry.
Next week we're all gonna go back and rewatch the whole thing.
The whole thing. You
and we're
bet.
gonna go, oh, there's that, there's
Yeah.
that, there's that, there's that. Okay.
Yeah.
And for the
Yeah,
first
the,
time in a long time, we have an entire season that we will all want to watch again.
For sure.
I mean, that Leonardo DiCaprio meme comes into my
Yes.
head with him holding the beer.
Yeah. Pointing at it. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a
And
weird movie that's from, by the way.
What movie is that from? I don't even know.
It's a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt as well, and it's
Yeah.
just the strangest freaking thing ever.
All right.
Couple more things. Like, if there's protocols, why didn't Deanna get Jack into the brig, or at least beam him to the brig? Because I mean, if he's such a big danger, why was he allowed to just hang out in his room?
Well,
and then they just sent 2 guards instead of how they isolated everybody else before, because they had to have a way for him to get off the ship.
maybe that was the fact that he was Picard's son, so that
yeah.
instead of the brig, they opted to just lock him into quarters.
They probably didn't expect him to do what he did either, honestly.
Right.
I mean, would you expect him to just go run off to the Queen? I didn't expect that. I thought that was kind of a little odd. I kind of see it now, really, overall, as far as the story goes. But in terms of his character, it's kind of odd.
Well, he also didn't know what was up. She's walking away, and he's screaming, "What did you see? What did you see?"
Yeah.
So he still didn't know anything.
At that point, correct.
So he was no more of a danger than he was 15 minutes earlier.
Correct. That's a good point.
But as soon as he heard it was the Borg, it's like that switch flipped, and now
I'm going to Mama.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I still want the Cisco.
Yeah,
I really want him to like show up and like make everybody's jaws drop to the ground. Like,
yeah.
That
Terry
would be great. And one last thing, get your riot gears ready. Yeah. Anyway, one last thing. This episode's definitely getting demonetized by YouTube with all the profanities.
Oh, probably. Probably. But that's okay.
We'll try harder. We'll try harder next week. I didn't even mean that.
Yeah,
I know. But it just feeds right into it. It's too perfect.
All right, guys. Just one more week. Can't wait.
Yep.
I hope it's going to be hope they go out with a bang.
Absolutely.
I really do.
They will.
Absolutely.
They will.
They will. That D is banging.
It's going to get that action.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Buddy. All right.
Yep.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye. All right.
So I think that's everybody, right?
That's everybody. Yeah.
I got Timothy Morris's episode 9 review to play.
Oh yes.
From across the pond. So we pull that up.
You totally hinted to that earlier.
Hello, boys. It's Tim here in England, and just wanted to record a few points about Picard episode 9, Vox. Well, look, okay. I've never really cared what was behind the red door. I've never liked that part of this this season of Picard. It was too much like the Red Angel, the big mystery. Didn't care. Didn't give a shit, really. And so, and when it was revealed that it was the Borg, it was like, yawn. I'm surprised. I wouldn't say it was lazy, because it makes sense in a way. I quite like the new iteration of the Borg, I think, but it was just still like you're going down the Borg route. If it hadn't been so heavily done in season 2 and in course season 1, then it would have earned it. You know, it's like, right, well, this makes sense. Picard was assimilated by the Borg. It makes sense that Jack could have Borg bits and pieces in him. So that, you know, that would have made sense, but we've been burned by the first 2 seasons. And it's all been leading, and all I've really cared about this season of Picard was the reminiscence and the member berries and the nostalgia. And I'm not going to lie, the last 5 minutes, what we've all been waiting for, isn't it, really, boys? It's we all knew it was coming, but still, when it happened, I don't know about you, but it just hit me a lot harder than I thought. And just, you know, talking about it now, it's just sort of brings you right back, seeing them all together on the bridge of the Enterprise D. The way they sat down, Picard sat down, he did the Picard maneuver, didn't he? Pulled down his top.
He did.
It was just like, oh, fucking hell. It's back to the late 80s and the early 90s, watching it with my dad, who's not with us anymore. You know, they're very special times. And, so, listen, I'll take a step back. It was great. I loved it. The lighting was a bit better, and that last scene as well. I do wonder what we're going to see in the last episode. Personally, I think they're all going to get. The ship's going to get blown up, but they're all going to go down in a blaze of glory. And I'm not sure how I'm going to take that, given the perfect ending of All Good Things, where they all went off into the sunset. It was the perfect ending. You know, playing cards. He said, I should have done this years ago. Joining them playing cards. Listen, I'm not making any sense now. I loved it. I hope you boys loved it too. I'm sure you did, and I was a sucker for it. They drew me in, and it's all been worth it for that last 5 minutes. I'm looking forward to the last one, but I don't want to see it almost, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, boys, take care. Thank you for letting me record this slightly longer review. I think it deserved it. We all loved it, and take care. Live long and prosper. Love you, boys. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Love hearing from Tim.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think we're going to get a happy ending. I don't think we're going to get them all sitting around the poker table for another hand. I don't think we're going to see that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And he brought up something that I thought about, but we haven't talked about it yet on this on today's show, was the lighting. Like the lighting differences between being on the bridge of the Enterprise D versus everything else is night and day. Yeah. And we even got Majel Barrett as a computer voice. Yes, I know. It's wonderful. So, so that's going to be like this weird back and forth between the scenes now in this finale, where we're going to be on the Enterprise bridge and it's going to be bright and look like that. And then all of a sudden we're going to be on everybody else's bridge and it's going to be dark and you can barely see it.
I don't think it'll be so jarring. Well, it's still darker than it was in 1994. Okay. Yeah. And I don't think it'll be so jarring because each time we go back and forth, it's just going to help remind you that this is not a modern ship. This is a 40-year-old ship that they're, or a 50-year-old ship that they're, or 40, whatever it is. This is a 40-year-old ship that they're flying. So I don't think it'll be that jarring. It's just going to be an instant reminder that they're not, this is your father's starship. This isn't a modern starship.
So everyone is freaking out now in the chat because Abel brought up that Elnor was on the USS Excelsior and then they got blown up. I will say that Terry Metalis has said on Twitter that Elnor was not on the Excelsior at this time.
Yeah.
So
he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elnor was on there for, that was like, he was still in the academy.
Yeah.
So that was like he was on a
Is
field
he a Borg?
trip.
Is he a Borg now?
Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
He's under 25.
Oh, I wonder if he pops up. Borg Elnor. With his space sword.
So who's a better swordsman, Elnor or Worf?
Ooh, that I would like to see.
See, that is, again, they picked the wrong one. It should have been Elnor this whole time and not Raffi, because that would have been a great fight scene to see.
Honestly, I would have loved that.
Yes.
I would have loved that because that would have been Worf with the son he wanted.
Yes. Oh my God. And they see things the same way with their their dry plain talk and
right. And they understand each other's comments and nobody else does. I mean, it's comedy
and then
gold.
At one point, Worf is just like, I love you. And he's like, what? Nothing.
Yeah, Worf is just like, you're like the son I never had. And Elnor's like, you're like the father I've never had.
Yes.
And Picard's sitting there going, wait, I've tried to take care of you. Like,
and you have a son. I met him.
Yeah. I could just see it right now. Yeah.
I would love to have seen that. Oh man. Oh
Yeah.
well. I'm sure it'll be in a book later that we can all buy.
And read.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will want to read books written around this season.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I don't normally like to read very many Trek books, honestly. They have to be kind of special in order for me to want to read them, like the Enterprise War I thought would be, which was horrible. So,
yeah.
But whatever.
See, and that just proves the point that this is the era of Star Trek that people want to see more of.
Yes.
Not that 32nd century garbage that they're making on the other show.
Right.
So they need to cut their losses over there. Move the Starfleet Academy show to the 25th century.
Yep.
And just take my money.
It's a perfect time to do that with what's happening in this with what's happening in this series. It's a perfect time to do that.
Yep.
It makes all the sense in the world. And if you want to use Tilly, because you desperately want to use Tilly in those situations for whatever reason, then use her. It's her great grandmother or something, or whatever. You know what I mean? Or a relative descendant or whatever. I don't know, someone else in her family somehow, a cousin or whatever. Or don't even explain it. It's just someone named whatever, and there she is. And she just happens to look and act like Tilly.
It's Millie.
It's Millie Vanilli.
She can be the new Nick Licordo. It's the same actress, the same basic character.
Exactly.
Name and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
actually, I would love that. That would be amazing.
Yeah, or they can come up with some sort of shenanigans, and she could just talk about her time on the Discovery, but she can't really talk about how she got here. But she's now here, and this is what and just whatever, just sweep it under the rug.
There you go.
So
well, awesome. Well, anything else we want to bring up before we head out?
No, other than I'm looking forward to talking to everybody again next week. It's going to be a hell of a finale. I'm sure we'll have a long show to talk about. So be sure to be here live on YouTube with us. X up when it comes time to talk. We're definitely going to want to hear everybody's feels and cries
for sure.
After whatever the hell happens next week. And obviously those that are going to go see it in the IMAX. I forget what that gentleman's name was. Scott. His name was Scott too, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So we got a lot of Scotts on this show. A lot of Dans, a lot of D's, and a lot of Scotts. Anyway.
Loving the D.
I'm surrounded by D's. So, but anyway, make sure you're on. Give us your reviews and your thoughts. Can't wait to share them with you. And, of course, call into the show anytime you want. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play it. Operators are not standing by.
No.
I don't know what the number is off the top of my head. I have to go look it up.
Yeah.
It is 816-287-0448. But if you are not able to leave a voicemail, because that's a Google Voice answering service for us, then just record it and email it in to Daniel or I, one of the two of us, like Timothy Morris does from across the pond.
Awesome.
And we'll play that on the show as well.
Awesome.
All right. So I think that's it, everyone. We're going to stay on the line for a few minutes to discuss the Trekcast Las Vegas meetup happening this summer. So stay tuned for details on that also.
Yep.
So thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
See you guys.